How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. We are back for another week, and I hope every single one of you have had a very, very good Christmas and weekend. And of course, it will obviously depend on the results of what team you support. You can probably tell by the smile on my face, Arsenal have actually won a game. But on today's show, we're going to take a look back at all the matches over the Christmas period. Plenty of games, plenty of talking points, VAR decisions and goals. And the last piece of news involves Mesut Ozil, because Juventus have turned down the chance of signing him for free in January.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right.
So the first place, we're going to start at all those matches I've been speaking about over the festive period. But before I get into those, I'm sure a lot of you may well be aware, but last week in particular, there were a few shows missing. And that was because I was unwell. And it has now been confirmed that I do actually have COVID. So that is the reason why I've not been making so many videos. Now, I'm still not 100%. I'm still isolating and doing everything that I should be doing. But I tell you something, it really does take it out of you. And I'm hoping that I'm over the worst part of it. And this is just the final stages to recovery. But yeah, listen, it's a tough one, real tough. So stay safe. And if there's not as many shows this week and I need to have the odd days off here or there, those are the reasons why. But let's get into the matches. And of course, Boxing Day, and conveniently, you know, the Christmas period fell on a normal weekend. So it didn't really put the games out of sync like the Christmas period sometimes, you know, will do. But yeah, Saturday's game, Sheffield United against Everton, and still no win for Sheffield United. 1-0 win for Everton, and they moved up to second in the table. A brilliant run from them at the moment. But Sheffield United, how long do they continue with Chris Wilder? He's done an absolutely heroic job at Sheffield United. But now they've got to look at it and say, do we make this change and do we try and get our Premier League survival? It's looking very unlikely because they are a million miles away from the drop zone. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do. Manchester City, comfortable 2-0 winners against Newcastle United. And of course, they had a couple of players themselves over Christmas that were diagnosed with COVID. And it was actually announced on Christmas Day that Jesus was diagnosed with COVID. And I believe the other player was Kyle Walker as well. So my best wishes to them. But 2-0 winners, like I said, and a very comfortable afternoon for them. Fulham against Southampton, 0-0. And not really what Southampton want. And Fulham, that's a couple of home games in a row now with clean sheets. So they're going to look at that and see it as another point. And they're slowly starting to tick along. But will it be enough? I'm not so sure. Aston Villa, 3-0 winners against Crystal Palace. Another clean sheet. I believe that's 4 in a row for Emi Martinez now. Traore, Tyrone Mings received a red card as well. And House and El Ghazi were enough, even though they were down to 10 men. So that was a brilliant performance from Aston Villa. Given that situation, because, you know, once you do go down to 10 men, it becomes very, very difficult. Leicester against Manchester United, 2-2 draw. Very entertaining game. Marcus Rashford put Manchester United ahead. Harvey Barnes equalised. Bruno Fernandes scored with 10 minutes to go, and you think 3 points are going back to Manchester. And then Tuanzebe, own goal, courtesy of Jamie Vardy with 5 minutes to go. And the spoils are shared. Of course, last game of Boxing Day was Arsenal against Chelsea. 3-1 winners to Arsenal. Very, very good. Very convincing. I think I've said all I need to say on that subject. Going into Sunday's games, Leeds United against Burnley. And it was a 1-0 win for Leeds United. Burnley, they had a goal disallowed as well. And it was given for a foul on the keeper. But when you actually look at the replays, it was a foul by the keeper on the Burnley player. So much protection these goalkeepers get. But I didn't work that one out. But Leeds United, given some of their recent results, they'll be happy with a clean sheet and 3 points. West Ham against Brighton, 2-2 draw. And West Ham will probably be the ones walking away from this grateful with a point, and Brighton, they'll be walking away from this kicking themselves because West Ham were very poor. But Brighton, they weren't able to capitalise on it, and they took the lead just before half-time through Mopai. Johnson equalises. Lewis Dunk scores with 20 minutes to go, and there was a VAR check with that. And it was whether it hit the underneath of his arm here and directed the ball down into his path. Now, they deemed it not to be, but later on, once you got a bit more of a close-up and more conclusive replays, you could see that it did actually hit the underneath of his arm. And although it's not intentional, the letter of the law now states that if it actually directly involves you scoring a goal, then it is a handball. So they got away with that one. But Souček equalised from awful marking from a corner. And it was a 2-2 draw. Now this was a big surprise. Liverpool against West Brom, and it finished 1-1. And I watched this game, right, and I sat there cracking up laughing because obviously now West Brom are under their new manager, Sam Allardyce. And from kick-off, he set up with this formation where they went with, I think it was about 5 or 6 right wingers. And Liverpool were looking like, what on earth is going on here? And then it was the ultimate park the bus tactics. They literally defended for their lives. Mane got the perfect start for Liverpool. They couldn't capitalise, couldn't get a second goal. West Brom, hung on in there. And with 8 minutes to go, Ajayi equalises. Firmino nearly does score the winner for Liverpool. Brilliant save by the West Brom goalkeeper. And they'll come away from there with a point. And that was the ultimate smash and grab. Also talking about parking buses was Wolves against Tottenham. Now, Tottenham took the lead in the opening 40 seconds through Ndombele. And then it was 89, 90 minutes of just Jose Mourinho ballfest. Park the bus. And Harry Kane ends up trying to dive, to cheat and, get things when it's not going his way. He was poor as well, by the way. So was Son. Wolves fully deserved something from this game. Should have had a penalty, but VAR never gave it. It was a touch, simple as that. But yeah, with 4 minutes to go, they did equalise. And it was fully deserved, because that would have been just absolute catastrophe if Spurs would have got away from there with all 3 points. It's just an absolute ball fest. And I've said all along, it's not going to be sustainable, that type of football, over the course of the season. And the cracks will start to appear eventually. And ever since Spurs fans and some people in the media have started speaking about Spurs being top and that they can go on and win the league, they've not won in their last 4. Yeah, Spursy. So that one finished 1-1. And that was the results for the festive period. And the games do come round thick and fast, with games tonight and tomorrow. So very interesting to see how teams recover. Last piece of news, and it's going to be very brief, and it's that reports over the weekend have said that Juventus have turned down the opportunity to sign Arsenal outcast Mesut Ozil for free in January. Ozil is keen to leave Arsenal after he was left out of Mikel Arteta's Premier League and Europa League squads at the start of the season. However, the German attacking midfielder has been rejected by various European clubs. It goes on to say that according to Tuttosport, both Arsenal and Ozil's agent have offered the former Real Madrid star to several European clubs in order to push a deal over the line in January, 6 months before his contract expires. Arsenal have offered to pay half of Mesut Ozil's salary if he joins Juventus. However, the Italian giants rejected Arsenal's offer and turned down the opportunity to sign the 32-year-old. What can I actually say about that? And except, who's going to want to, take Mesut Ozil on when his contract's nearly expired? I do think that there will be clubs interested when his contract's expired, because there's no, contract there in terms of his wage, even a half. You think half of Mesut Ozil's 350 grand a week wages, Juventus are looking at that and thinking to themselves, are you mad? Honest to God, it's like 175 grand a week they would still have to pay. They're looking at that and thinking to themselves, nah, are you mad? Maybe if you pay all his wages, we'll take him off your hands and out of the dressing room for 6 months. But nah, absolutely not going to be happening. And this is what happens when you put a player on this kind of wage. And I think we're going to have to ride this one out, or at least just terminate his contract in January if we want to get rid of him and get rid of his contract and stop paying those wages, man. Just bite the bullet and get it done with, man. That's what I've got to say on the situation. So there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about today's topics. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button, smash a like on this video, and I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.